My name is Devin Wright, and this is Making Magic Out of Memories. Have you ever found yourself browsing YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and you click on a video that leads you to another video, which then leads you to 10 more, and you find that 2 hours have gone by and you're not quite sure where you began? I hate to say it, but this happens to me way too often. And while many see this activity as a mind-numbing waste of time, I'd argue that it isn't completely pointless. Now, does that mean that you should spend all day watching videos instead of doing something productive? Of course not. But if you keep an open mind, you might just find something that you didn't expect to see. The other day, I fell down the rabbit hole of watching magic shows. And you know what I discovered? That magic is super entertaining. I love the charm and the charisma of the performers. I love how effortlessly they make the impossible appear possible. But you know what I didn't expect would happen when I typed magician into the YouTube search bar? I didn't expect to be on a call with my grandparents, on the verge of tears because I couldn't handle the thought of losing them. But that's exactly what happened. Now wait, how did we get from there to here? Well, allow me to explain. During my escapade into the dark reaches of the internet, I stumbled across a video that caught me off guard. A magician, standing on a stage similar to this one, opened his act with this. The people in our lives, the ones that stick with us, are as rare and as special as a mint-condition silver dollar. The moments we share with them are equally important. We recognize this and try our best to hang on to the memories we share with these individuals. But the great tragedy of life is this. It's that our memory is finite. We try to close the gap with pictures, videos, and memorabilia, but the simple truth is that these things are inadequate. They are not enough to remind us of who they were. They are not powerful enough to share their legacy. Everyone is bound to die, and our keepsakes cannot keep them alive. Back at the start of the year, when things were just beginning to get crazy and no one knew what to expect, the doctors found a tumor in my mother's lung, and she was going to have to go into surgery in order to get it removed. On the day she was admitted into the hospital, my brothers and I were beside ourselves. But my mom, always looking out for her boys, provided each of us with this necklace. The words, "I love you," are engraved in the pendant, just in case. But in walks this guy, telling me that I am bound to forget the people I love and that the things I hang on to, these remembrances, are essentially pointless. Now, I don't know if it was solely my mom's surgery weighing down on me, or if it was the stress of the year. But that statement, the truth in that statement, well, it broke my heart. Her surgery was a success, by the way. She left the hospital 4 days later, and she's been doing fine ever since. But even so, I can't stop thinking, what if I did lose her? What if I lose her tomorrow or the next day? What if I am not prepared? If I don't have anything to hang on to and remember her by, how can I possibly keep her memory alive? It's a tough question. It wrestles with grief and worry and regret for not spending enough time with the people we care about. And I think that to an extent, we all struggle with this. I mean, when was the last time you called your grandparents? I know that I certainly don't call mine enough. But when I do make the time to reach out, I find that it's always a rewarding experience. My grandparents are always so excited to hear from me, and every now and again, they like to share stories from their past. When my grandfather was young, he used to get out of doing school by waiting for the train to stop by. The tracks always ran right by the school, and when that train did stop, him and a buddy would get onto the train, take the sheep that were stored there, and let them loose in the hallways of the school. They would then run into the principal's office and, I kid you not, offer to help wrangle the sheep back onto the train. They would spend half the day doing this, and then when they were done, the principal would give them the rest of the day off for good behavior. And my grandmother has been a barber for over 50 years. But if you ever met her, you could have sworn that she made her living as a government spy. The amount of detail she can pick up on is astonishing. She will read you like a book and tell you things about yourself that you never even knew. They're amazing people. And you want to know something crazy? Just when I was watching that video, just when I was thinking about my grandparents and my mom and her surgery, as if they telepathically knew how I was feeling in that moment, my phone began to ring. "Devin Robert Wright," came my grandmother's voice from the machine. "We need to talk." "Devin, your grandfather and I are getting old." "No, don't say anything. We know it's true. But we just wanted to say, don't worry about us. You waste too many calories stressing over such things. Instead, I need you to help me and your grandfather write down the stories from my life and from your papa's time in the Navy, and so on." She concluded by saying, "After all, if I pass these stories on to you, and you in turn pass them on to your grandchildren, we can truly live forever." We can truly live forever. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a fool. I am a fool that worries too much about what I'm going to lose tomorrow rather than enjoying what I have today. And I realize now that what that magician said is the truth. Everyone dies. But if we only have a necklace or a photograph to remember them by, then we are doing them a blatant disservice. The memory of someone that we've lost should be cherished and celebrated. A photograph cannot share their legacy, but a story can. And as my grandparents can attest, a great memory loves a good story. They're validated by them, immortalized even. And I think that's where the magic lies. That is how you keep love alive. That is how you make the impossible appear possible. So if you're like me, and you're worried about what tomorrow might bring, just remember to enjoy today. Give your family and relatives a call, especially if you haven't heard from them in a while. Ask questions, learn about them, and learn from them as well. If you do that, and you celebrate their memory when they're gone, well, I think my grandmother put it best. They can truly live forever.